Welcome back, Team Starlight. You guys asked for Marcos's Blue Eyes White Plants deck, so here it is. We got the profile for you.
Okay. We're also going to show some cool replays after this as well, like we usually do, because this deck does cook. It's really fun. As you guys know, I love plants. I love titanial, and I like having multiple titanials. But the problem with multiple titanials is that multiple titanials brick. That's just the logic, right? But it doesn't brick if you have trade-in. But then you have to run other level. It's a whole thing. It becomes like a whole problem. But you know what's a really good card to draw and make your deck actually work? Blue Eyes White Dragon. I will explain it all, and you'll see it in action after this. This is the version number 3 that I landed upon, and it's pretty solid. So you got 2 titanials. I landed on 2 because one eats a bottomless and the other one doesn't, and then after that you just keep recycling it, and you'll see what that means. 2 Lone Fire and 2 Dandies. These are the plants. This is all you need. There's a lot of ways to get Dandy with Foolish and also running Future Fusion, a mini Future Fusion package as well. But yeah, this is the entire plant package, just 6 plants, that's it. And we're also running triple White Sun Legend and 2 Blue Eyes White Dragon. The logic here is that we want trade-in targets. We just don't want too many bricks, and White Stone is less of a brick than Blue Eyes is, because if you draw a White Stone and you already ran out of Blue Eyes, it's at least a tuner. But if you draw a Blue Eyes, it just feels bad. Like the only thing you can really do with it is trade-in. So this is why we landed upon this. And this also minimizes our trade-in targets. We're only running 5 total trade-in targets, but you'll find that trade-in is usually always live in this deck for a multitude of reasons. And yeah, I think this is just a really good ratio. I found it, I didn't really brick too hard on it at all. And a lot of the times, and you'll see in the duels, we summon Blue Eyes White Dragon a lot. Like you create a lot of tokens, and Blue Eyes is a 3k beat stick, so it's kind of funny, you just win like that. So the reason why this deck functions though is because I really think that Titanial and Stardust are the best combination, one of the most broken combinations in Edison format, like Titanial with tokens and a Stardust Dragon with some back row maybe to protect it, but even without back row, it's very difficult to out that board. You can't Caius it, you can't Brain Control, you can't Lightning Vortex, you can't like do things, right? Sick. All right. So Debris obviously works really well in tandem with the plants, because if you Debris with Dandy, you can Black Rose, obviously, but you can also make Stardust Dragon, right? And so the issue I've had with all these different like Limit Reverse plant decks that I was playing, or any type of plant deck, is that you'll brick on Debris a lot. Debris feels like the worst starter a lot of times if you don't have that Foolish Burial or you don't have a Future Fusion to send the Dandy immediately. But with this deck's draw card engine, which is the Cards of Consonance trade-in, which I'll show now because I feel like it makes sense to talk about it now. With the triple Cards of Consonance and triple trade-in, you can Cards of Consonance away a Debris Dragon that's just dead in your hand. And it makes it so that your deck has a really high likelihood of actually seeing Lone Fire Blossom turn 1. Because you have so much draw power in the trade-ins and the Cards of Consonance. Especially if you see the Cards of Consonance in tandem with the White Stone of Legends, you'll Cards of Consonance, get a Blue Eyes, trade in away the Blue Eyes, and right there you just got a straight +1 in terms of raw draw power and value. So you're basically just using the Dragon Turbo engine as a way to get to your plants a lot faster and unbrick your bad plant hands. So that's the logic. I think that's why you can easily run 3 Debris and it doesn't feel bad at all. You do end up siding out a Debris, and if you do side out Debris for like deck dev matchups or pressure matchups, then you side out like 1 Cards of Consonance. That's what I've been usually doing, and it felt pretty good for the most part. You still keep 2 Cards of Consonance in because it's still draw power, but yeah. And now we're also on the Future Fusion package, so we're running the Stratos and just a Plasma, as well as Future Fusion. So the reason why I'm not on another Elemental Hero is because we're also running a couple other cards like Pot of Avarice to fix the grave, so we don't need to see, like sometimes you'll see Future Fusion and like, oh no, I saw my Strato, so I can't use it. But also because we're on 5-headed Dragon. There's a lot of times where you just send like a bunch of the White Stones and like a Debris or 2, and then add back these 2 Blue Eyes and you'll card destruction or trade and whatever, and just that'll be another way to like still get Future Fusion value. And then you'll Pot or Avarice whatever you sent. Like there's a lot of different ways to use Future Fusion in this deck that isn't just Gaia. So you're okay with just having Stratos Plasma, and that's it. And it feels fine. Like I know some people might feel like it bricks, but I trust me. Like you deck them really hard, and the Pot of Avarice will recycle it, and eventually Future Vision will be live anyway. So yeah, it's like I think this is a really small hero package, and Plasma's insane in this deck because you're gonna be spamming out tokens. So Plasma, super alive. I mean, yeah. So And then we have Card Trooper. You're just milling stuff, and you have 5 solid mill targets. If you hit the dandelions or any of the white stones, you can just immediately get some value out of that. It also helps make your pot of avarice alive. We're on 1 quick draw. The reason why we're on 1 quick draw is that this deck does turbo through your deck pretty fast. I don't think you need more than 1, and your extra deck is really tight. So the reason why we're on 1 quick draw is that it just feels insanely broken game 1. Game 2 and 3, you end up siding it out a lot on some matchups where they're going to put false dynas, vanities, that kind of stuff. But in game 1, it just absolutely decimates a lot of opponents when you do see it because it's really easy to get out, and you have a lot of discard fodder in terms of like the blue eyes and all that stuff, right? So I like it as a 1 of. It feels really, it just feels good. And we just run 1 drill warrior in the. You'll see the extra deck in a second, but. We also have the Gores, the Emissary of Darkness, because we're not running too much back row. And Gores plus the White Stone can make you, the Gores token in the White Stone can make you level 8, which is pretty cool. And then we have a Sangan. Sangan searches your entire deck. So these are all the 1-ofs that we're running for the most part. And that's it. Ton of monsters, so you're always doing good stuff. We already talked about a few. We'll talk about it in a second, though. But yeah, the draw cards, like I said, we have the trade-in and the cards of constants, but we also have a card destruction. Card destruction, just really good when your hands are just full of a bunch of stuff, especially Dandelion. Like, Dandelion's one of those cards that, like, when it's in your hand, it kind of sucks. Like, you really do want it to just not be in your hand. But card destruction can be really nasty to just keep deck thinning really aggressively. Sometimes you can even card destruction if you think they have Gores or something like that. Yeah, so just like it's just another draw card. It does suck against some matchups, like you'll give them the draw cards that they need, but like I said, like it's Dragon Turbo logic. You're just trying to just get through your deck as fast as possible. We're also on 2 Pot of Avarice. I feel like you only need 2. 3 might be a little too tricky, but 2's been amazing. Whenever you see it, it's usually always live. You can side out 1 game 2 and 3, but I think you always have to keep at least 1 because that's what keeps your Titanial engine coming back over and over and over. Titanialing, Black Rosing multiple times. Yeah, Pot of Avarice is absolutely nuts. It's disgusting. It's super live in this deck. We're on the Foolish and Future Fusion. I talked about Future Fusion, but Foolish is also really clutch in this deck. Sometimes you just have like a weird hand where you'll end up sending like White Stone just to add blue eyes and then trading it away. So it's like it has a little bit of versatility in this deck. You can also Foolish for like Lone Fire. We do run 1 Call of the Haunted, and that's come up. I think they come up in a few duels that online when I'll show you. But yeah, it's also in beautiful Japanese. Woo! It looks so sexy, dude. I love this one. The original art.
Dude, yeah, love OCG.
Oh yeah, we love OCG out here. We're on MST, Trunade Heavy. The reason why Trunade could easily is the most swappable card. You can make that Tragodia, you can make that Trap Stun, you can make that whatever you need it to be. I just really like Trunade, and I do run Call of the Haunted. I just like Trunade. I just like how fast it is. I don't have to wait a turn. And this deck is really explosive at times when you can just Trunade into multiple Titanials. Because a lot of time, most people's only answer to that is Torrential and Bottomless, and Trunade just shuts that off immediately. And then those cards are basically dead at that point going forward. So, yeah, I just really like Trunade in this deck. And it also bounces your Call sometimes, which you see Call a lot. Like, I know it's weird, but you see a lot of your 1-ofs a lot in this deck because you draw a lot. So, yeah, you don't. But Heavy's Heavy and MST's MST, and then 1 Brain Control. We have a lot of tuners, but also we contribute a ton with tokens or any of their monsters to make summons. So that's all the spells, and we're on 5 traps. We're on the 1 Call of the Haunted, like I talked about. Call of the Haunted is a power card in this deck. You could cut it if you don't like it. It does conflict with Gores exactly, but that's about it. Otherwise, it's insane. Like, Call of the Haunting back a Titanium. Call of the Haunting back a freaking Blue Eyes sometimes just to get a 3K like beater on the board. Or Chaining Call to Dandy, or Chaining Call to Card Trooper Sangan, etc. That is just a great card in this deck. It's good back row. It becomes a body, or it becomes what you need it to be. So, yeah. And then we run Trap Dust Shoot. Because you draw so much, I actually really like Trap Dust Shoot in this deck. I just feel like I see it a lot. You'll see like we'll draw into Trap Dust Shoot going first because we just decked in like crazy. So, yeah, I think Trap Dust Shoot's a must. Obviously in Edison format, but in this deck in particular, it feels really broken, like you see it a lot. And the last card, so I used to be on Limit Reverses for the longest time, and it was kind of cope because your hand would be like, you need Dandy, you have these dead Dandies in your hand, or you have these dead Blue Eyes in your hand, or you just have dead Titanium, whatever, dead cards in your hand that aren't doing anything anyway. Or even like a dead White Stone that you don't want to summon to have to get a Blue Eyes. But being able to just pitch a White Stone, being able to pitch the Dandies, has been really, really good, and Regeki Break is just a good catch-all. So when you have the board of Titanium Stardust plus a Regeki Break, it's genuinely an unbreakable board at that point. Like unless you have Lava Golem, right? But besides exactly Lava Golem, this card is the best back row you could ask for, backing up already strong monsters like Titanium and Stardust, right? So yeah, so that is the entire main deck, 40 cards. Yeah, that's Blue Eyes White plans. We'll get to the side first because I think the side's really special. We're on one Alias in the side. This is just because we side out a lot of our deck dev targets. And Alias is just a good catch-all card that Stratos can search, and then you just start beating down people when they deck dev you and stuff. It's just nice to have to beat over Fossil Dynas. We don't have any in the main deck. There's like 3 monsters that can beat over Fossil Dyna. I think it's literally Stratos and Card Trooper. So 2 monsters that can beat over Fossil Dyna. We do have Regeki Break, so it's not like it's impossible to play that. But this is good when they side into Fossil Dynas and stuff. So yeah, we like that. Here's like the real like sauce of this deck, and you might have seen it in that duel that we posted earlier. But we're running Quackimero Dragos because you have those blue eyes in your hand and the white stones and the debris. This guy is usually always live, and it just shuts down so many decks. Lightsworn, Vayu, Black Nitro Vayu especially because they're not running Raikos and stuff. Fairies, just a bunch of random different decks that need a dark or need a light to play. And being a 900 beater that you can protect with Regeki Breaks or whatever side deck cards we have here, it's pretty good. I feel like this can just randomly win you entire duels, especially when you use it like late game. Like you'll have a board of like Titanium plus this, and that just feels like a little mean at times. Oh wait, whoops! I did not mean to put it there. All right, 2 Cyber Dragons. This is just generically good card. I also like it because with Whitestone is really nice because you can synchro off into Brio, and then you pitch the blue eyes that you just found, which is kind of cool. Or you can make Goyo with it. I just like Cyber Dragon because the machine matchup is like, it's not like the best matchup against us, but like it's a good card. It's good against GBs too. You just sometimes need beaters to like actually play the game. So all right, last we have My Body's a Shield. This is actually shout out my boy Wolf. Wolf was kind of like always spectating our duels. I think he might show up in a couple of our replays, spectating all the time. This is just a card that like just made a ton of sense because I couldn't figure out what 15th card I wanted in the side deck. I got rid of the Skill Drain package and the Barbaros package because it was shutting down. It was shutting down my own deck more than it was winning me duels. It was supposed to be for the Vayu matchup, but I found the Vayu matchup was pretty good. And then it was supposed to be for the Frog matchup, but then I found that Titania was winning me that anyway. So I was realizing more and more that like, oh, I don't actually need Skill Drain because I would activate Skill Drain sometimes and just lose. Because like besides the Barbaros and the Titanial, everything else was really bad under Skill Drain. And unlike the Limit Reverse Plant deck, I don't have Magic Planners to shut it off for myself. And I found that really miserable. So that's why I'm off that. But instead, I had space now, so I put My Body's a Shield. My Body's a Shield just felt like a really good catch-all to deal with like deck devastation virus, Icarus attacks, to even deal with like Black Rosing me or even JD. JD is a little bit of an annoying card, but yeah, the one of My Body, I might want to put it at 2, honestly. It just feels really good in this deck. Yeah, so that's the one of My Body. We also have 2 Lightning Vortex. It's just good when you're dealing with like dupe locks or their own Titanials and their own stuff. It's just good, especially when I side in. When I'm going second, I like it. I usually only side like 1 a lot of the time, but the second one's there just in case like I'm dealing with some annoying non-back row type deck like Monster Mash or something, right? So yeah. The last of the traps, we'll be running 2 Karma Cuts. Shout out our teammate George for getting me these for my birthday. But yeah, these Karma Cuts are really cool. It's just good. This is also why I don't mind Skill Drain being gone because this deals with Vayu and Frogs, I think, better. Being able to Karma Cut like a Ab-Zero or Karma Cut the Treeborns or Karma Cut a Vayu or whatever, right? Karma Cut like any of their monsters for these decks that need their grave feels really good because it just lets you kind of like do more. It's better than like, it felt better than Skill Drain, so I kind of like Karma Cut now. I don't like main decking it obviously because you need to hit back rows with the Regeki Breaks, but against decks that aren't running as much heavy back row, Karma Cut's good. And for the decks that do run a ton of back row, we also have 2 Decree. We're on a really low trap count, so this is just good against like GBs, Hero B, like just the decks that are just really, really relying on like 20 traps. It's nice to just shut them down. So that's the side deck. Lastly, extra deck, Stardust, Team Starlight tokens, Dandy tokens. You need them. You need them all. 2 Stardust, pretty obvious. Red Dragon Archfiend. I feel like these are all pretty obvious. Black Rose, duh. Ancient Fairy, just 1. Because we want Whitestone, we do need to run other. Oh, sorry, and also sorry. Iron Chain Dragon is the last dragon. The rest are a little bit more generic because we do run the Whitestone and it matters. So Goyo and Brio, they come up the most. Catastor, when you brain control like a 4 or something. Armory Arm actually comes up a ton when you have like Sangan or Dandy and you just like have it set and not doing anything with it. It lets you just like use it and get to do stuff. So Armory Arm actually ended up being like one of the more important ones. And then lastly, I do have a Drill Warrior. And this card keeps flipping and flopping. Sometimes you're able to facilitate an extra, like with Drill Warrior, like if it lives, you can target another quick draw synchron. So I did want like another target to be able to use quick draw again. And Nitro Warrior is what I landed on as just a good beater and maybe can go for game. But this can easily just be Colossal Fighter. You end up doing these really fun plays where you'll make like Ancient Fairy Dragon with Debris Dragon. And then the following turn, you could like summon Whitestone or even special Whitestone with its effect. And then you can level up into an 8. So I did find Colossal Fighter was like a nice option for that. But we have Stardust and Red Dragon Archfiend, so I did feel like you could always just do that. But so this one is the most like questionable. This could be any other 8 that feels better for you. Probably Colossal, in my opinion. But yeah, and then lastly we have 1 Chimera Tech, 1 5-headed dragon, because like I said, we can use it, and then Gaia, which is the one you're using 99% of the time to send Dandy. So that is the entire deck. So now, let's see in action. Okay, so you guys saw the deck profile already. This is it in DB. The only difference is Colossal Fighter, like could be Nitro Warrior, could be Colossal, could be anything you need it to be. I think Colossal might be the correct choice. Otherwise, everything else is pretty much identical. I'm also joined by Declan. Hey, Declan.
Hello, hello.
So let's check out some duels. I got some really cool duels against pretty much every single relevant, the big 3 and a couple other just strong decks, just to showcase what this deck can do into a bunch of different meta decks. We lost the die roll here in this first duel. I don't even know what we're up against. Looks like a Raikou path type shenanigans. This hand is pretty solid. I like seeing Stratos. It's just a straight +1 with trade-in is nice. Because like obviously right now it's not like the plasma's not live, but it makes the trade-in live, which is cool. I just tack. Yeah, so it looks like a Vayu Turbo deck. Main deck Devi is kind of scary as well, but it's fine. They mill Sirocco. That feels pretty good for them. I decided not to use my trade-in yet because I have Gores, and Gores plus Plasma can actually happen because I have Heavy Storm as well. So I just hold the trade-in in case I see like another 8, and I have a lot of ways to see 8, so that's why I don't use it immediately. So yeah, they just Armageddonite for Vayu. They like super commit to this, and I'm like, okay. So I'll take 14. I'll take 20, but then I'll drop my Gores. And hope they don't have like an Icarus attack back there or something, because this Heavy Storm is about to be super high value.
Oh, thank God you drew the Titanium.
Dude, there's always a likelihood, especially on DB, man. I feel like I'm always drawing the bricks. Here I decided just to swing in. I don't have to even use Plasma here yet. Because I also have Sangan, and so the cool part is I can actually, like with Sangan, because I'll probably try to get rid of it first or do something about it, I can end up searching like a card to discard with Regeki Break, like a Whitestone or even a Dandy, and that will also make my Plasma live. But they have the brain control, so that feels a little rough. I think I Regeki Break the Gores here because I don't want him to Caius the Sangan if he has Caius. Because I do think I need Sangan here to really play. So yeah, but I have Card Trooper now.
Oh my God! You only have one in deck, though.
Yeah, I only have one in deck left, but it's like this happens all the time. Card Trooper is just a machine in this deck. Like I love it. Like I just love how it just becomes a +1, which is really cool. And now this card destruction is looking extra spicy whenever I decide to use it. So yeah, he just takes all of the damage. Does he have his own Gores? No Gores. He's at 16. I have this card. I feel like I'm pretty safe from pretty much anything at this point. He does have the ability to summon out an Armor Master. And maybe he drops Caius now, but now I'm feeling less like worried about it because I have 2 different monsters that are annoying for his, like a Caius to deal with. I take 200. He doesn't have a Caius or anything, so I'm feeling good now. I wonder if he had any way to really convert that the Gores when he brain controlled it. But here,
Oh my god, Dandy 2 off the Trooper.
Yeah, so and I have the Plasma, so I'm gonna use Plasma. The only downside here is if you tribute Sangan or if you tribute Whitestone off of Plasma, you can't use Prio. So if I get Bottomless here, that just sucks because Sangan's like mandatory and has to resolve. So I'll let it resolve first. I get the Lone Fire, which is amazing because I haven't normal summoned yet. I can steal his Armor Master. He just goes into scoop phase. So yeah, just a ton of like showcasing like Regeki Break is such a strong card in this deck, and it doesn't feel like an egg as much as other decks that do run it. Ramesting their back row because I have a Future Fusion and I want it to resolve. I decided to go for the 5-headed dragon, which I told you it does come up, especially when you have Pot of Avarice, but also because I have the trade-in. So now I sent all the white stones. I sided into Drago, so I sent a Drago, sent a Debris, and now I just add both of these blue eyes to my hand, which I can now trade in one away first before I Pot of Avarice. I can trade in the other one away. Well, first I decided to actually add the Plasma first so I don't draw it. And then I decide not to use Pot of Avarice yet because there's a chance because I want to, if this is like a real card or something, I do want to like potentially send back my Crow and get the ability to use Crow multiple times. But we'll see what ends up happening here. It ends up being a Hamster. That's a little unfortunate because Stratos is just too weak. Okay, I'm just holding off on this Avarice. He goes for the Raikou. Look at this mill. Look at this freaking God's Here mill, dude.
Yeah.
Makes up for all my God's Here mills.
No, it's okay.
what are you gonna say?
Dude, it's okay. You're getting Gorsed.
Yeah, Gores is good. Gores is a good guy. So now I go for Lone Fire into Titanium. A Pot of Avarice, the Whitestone, the Blue Eye, 1 Blue Eyes, a Drago, and a Debris, because I want to make the cards a constant slide, but I don't need both Blue Eyes back. Like, it's just bricks. I didn't see one, but it's okay. And I would just punching in for a ton of damage. You just have big bosses on the field here. Gores is just an insane card in this deck.
It's an insane so card good against value. It's also insane against value turbo, just in general. That's why I think a lot of value decks have been trending towards Icarus attack, because it actually gives them like a solid answer.
And yeah, so here they go for the value. I don't crow this because I'm just like the plague is the bigger issue, is the true threat here. So now I decide to crow it. Yeah, they have burial. I'm like, cool. I still have Regeki Break too to like stop a follow-up play, which is great. So they go plague. I think I let them synchro because I want the plague just to. I realize I can just Regeki Break whatever comes out because they can't make Stardust. So they make Colossal Fighter. And the reason why I also do that is I let everything go through is because it keeps them on a higher dark count. Basically, if I just Regeki Break like the monster or something, it put him at exactly like he has the ability to manipulate his grave a little bit easier there. So that's why I just like waited till he had more than enough. I'm just super afraid of Dad. But since he just overcommitted here, I'm like, great, now I can just Regeki Break this Colossal Fighter. And I think we're pretty much feels pretty good at this point. Yeah, so it's just GG's. A swift 2-0 against Vayu. It's usually a rough matchup, especially if they do run deck dev on you. But like, if you don't see deck dev, you can pretty much like Titanium is insane against this deck. And Gore's obviously both games was a little nuts there. So I think both the games really did showcase how strong the Regeki Breaks are, and I see why Frog players are addicted to this card.
Yeah, so it's just the best, most flexible interaction, and your deck actually has like better discards than the average Frog deck, other than like a Plant Frog variant, like having, you know, Blue Eyes, you know, all the plant stuff, like Dandy, like that's so good.
Yeah, the little white stone to add to Blue Eyes makes it like neutral, and then yeah, it's pretty cool. The Dandy is the best interaction though. If you have Titanium already too, you just get those tokens out. Here we're going first, and if you see this is always one of the funnier moments. It's a God tier hand, but it's funny because I have Foolish for the Dandy, so I drew the Stratos, So this is those scenarios where it's like, oh, you drew the Stratos, so you can't do like the Dandy play, and that does suck. But we have the Pot of Avarice, so I can just do the other play. Yeah, I think you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
I
just
could
send
send
five-headed.
five. Like here, I send all the debris because that's all the dragons I have left, and I don't want to send the blue eyes, so I can add the 2 blue eyes. And then now I can just go Stratos. And the reason I go Stratos is because now I can cards a constant the debris, so I don't have to actually use it. Pot of Avarice away everything. I'm already up like a ton of advantage. There's also a 5-headed dragon potentially coming out. I can cards of constants again. And yeah, so we are, even if they heavy storm me, we have 6 cards in our hand. A couple of them are kind of like 4 of them are fake in that they're level 8s, but the moment I see a trade in, this hand goes crazy. And I can also just normal summon the Titanial or even the Blue Eyes after Geki breaking and sending Dandy. So, and I have Plasma Live too, so it's pretty cool. You have a lot of options here. They just go immediately MST. I think I just changed it because I just want these tokens out because I have Plasma, and I feel like it's just guaranteed to like these tokens are gonna stick. But then they have this they go Bora, Gale.
Yikes. That's a lot of damage, but
Yeah,
I think it's worth
and
it to set the tokens up.
but they decide not to. Oh, they decide to synchro into armor. I actually thought they were gonna Black Rose this field, but I realized that it puts them down way too bad and like at card advantage, and this at least gives them like the ability to do something.
But
So
did
yeah,
they see
so I
you
just go to
add
Redragon.
plasma? Like, if they don't have a response to
Yeah.
plasma, they kind of just trolled there.
Yeah, a little bit for sure, because like I think these tokens are the bigger issue here. So yeah, now I'm able to make Stardust into Plasma. Yeah, because if they didn't do this, I could still make Plasma live because I just normal summon Debris and then just make like Ancient Fairy with 2 tokens. I also drew Dandy. I could also just set Dandy if I really wanted to.
Yeah, you could have played around it still, definitely.
But yeah, he did have a back row, so this is definitely just a worse scenario for him. And 5-headed is coming out, so but they have brain control, so that feels pretty rough. He tries to steal the Stardust, and I was like, it's not how he works. It's max 1. And this guy, like, he was at the time, he was like one of the more high-rated players. So I was very surprised, like the choices that were being made.
Oh damn!
Like,
And he doesn't even have a way to convert this plasma, so he's gonna have to brio it back.
so
Your
I thought a cool play he could have done. Oh yeah, he's gonna have to yeah, he's just gonna attack over the Stardust and then brio back my. I don't know why I sent the Armor Master early, but I just knew what was gonna happen. He was gonna bounce the Plasma. The Plasma goes back to my hand. 5-headed Dragon's now coming out. But this hand is also like it feels bad. But thank God he bottomlesses the 5-headed because that gets rid of my Future Fusion. And now I decided not to even set anything, but I could have just set the Dandy. But I was just like, I have Gores, and he can't really bounce back the Gores at this point. Because like he probably needs the back row more than he needs to deal with his Gores. I drew MST. Back row is just the legacies. It's not. Yeah, he draws into nothing. We had game on board. So, and we can also just go Plasma again, which is really funny. Here I sided into Lightning Vortexes. I usually just do that going second into a lot of decks. Especially because like I don't want to get killed by Icarus attack and stuff. But here I just have Stratos. I think it's safe to just go for the Plasma first, then start doing the cards of constant shenanigans. And now I can get this Blue Eyes. I can now trade in the Blue Eyes. And look at that. My hand is I have all the cards I want to see at this point. I do trade in the Plasma. Why do I do that? Oh, just because I could.
I mean, it's gonna be a little hard to set up the plasma from that point.
Yeah, that's pretty true. But I also because I had the ability to Lightning Vortex pitch the Whitestone later, and now I'm like awkwardly in this position where I have to like set the Lightning Vortex because I'm like hand size. But it's fine. I also could have card destruction too. That's another option. But oh, here we go. I'm just gonna take 200 to the face. Sirocco is a big beast stick. I go Lightning Vortex first. Get a Blue Eyes. Do I just card destruction here?
Maybe Lone Fire first or Alias makes sense. I guess bait out a bottomless or something.
Yeah, I feel like Alias just does. Yeah, because I knew he probably if I did make the play with Lone Fire, he'd probably just bottomless that the Titanial. Now I go for Lone Fire, but do I decide to go? Oh, does he have oppression? Yeah, I do go Titanial here. Titanial gets bottomless. That sucks. So now I decide to go for card destruction. Because this hand is not really doing too much. I have not seen Dandy yet, so I feel like a lot of my stuff is cool. But like now I have a lot of different options here. And I have the Foolish Burial to finally send a Dandy. So I Foolish Burial to send the Dandy because I just want to insulate myself. He has the oppression. That sucks. But at least it means my Heavy Storm is guaranteed to go through unless it's solemn exactly.
That's crazy that he let the Titanium come out and bottomless it instead of just oppressioning the loan.
I think he doesn't know I was on multiple Titanials, so I think he like would rather me
Get
I
like a
don't know,
dandy out of
rather
deck or something.
yeah.
That makes sense.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what the strat was. Just like I said, they were high rated, man, so maybe this is just the Blackwing way. so anyway, I just lone fired into the second Titanial. Run over the Sirocco. I hope it's not a Kalut. It's no Kalut, so now I'm feeling pretty good. Feel like I can definitely win this from here on out. I go trade in. I do have Future Fusion to send the Stratos plus the Dandy. So you saw I Pot of Avarice this away. So like I said, like the Future Fusion is usually live because you have Avarice, which is really cool. So now I got tokens. I can now go Debris to make myself a Stardust. And they just scoop because the writing's on the wall there. Stardust plus Titanial plus a Decree follow-up later. That just seems pretty sick nasty. So yeah, that was against a little Blackwing action there.
Stardust plus Titanium is the Marco special.
Yeah, I love Stardust. I love Titanium. The combo's nuts. Didano was like recording. I was like, oh, geez. They're a fan. They're a fan. So this hand is not like the best. I mean, I have a trade-in. It could be a lot better. It's still not the greatest, but I do have the Gores plus Foolish plus Plasma combo. You see, this combo's insane, dude.
Dude, Gores is fucking goated, especially when you have Heavy Storm to back it up. It's so good.
Yeah, this hand is literally like insane. But their hand also is pretty good here because they have the
Lumina
plus Garoth.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's pretty sick nasty. But I'm able to drop a fat Gores here. And this Heavy Storm's like only gonna max 1-for-1 or do nothing here because it's Lightsworn. But they don't hit a Lightsworn. Good for us. Now I go Foolish Burial for a Dandelion. So I can yoink. Do I yoink the Lumina? No, I yoink the Garoth for sure. Now it's just look how much like the attack is so awkward. It's 25, dude.
Oh my god.
It's such an awkward amount, dude. But yeah, Plasma, I have this Regeki Break. I'll probably pitch the Heavy or the MST, one or the other, but because they're both kind of useless here. But this feels pretty good, man. Now I see the Debris. I can now go Debris into Dandy. I can just straight up make Black Rose use its second effect to put this thing into attack mode. And yeah.
Does it pop? I forget. If you use the second effect?
It flips it into a face-up attack and makes its attack 0. So just like it's just pushing in for game there.
Yeah, okay, but like it doesn't like negate Reiko's effect.
No, it doesn't, but Plasma will, so we're fine.
Oh,
So now we just go Lone Fire. I use one because I want to draw the other Lone Fire potentially to get the other Titanium. So that's why I do one. And then I attack. I could have held off, but the Karma Cut, like this is the downside of the Karma Cut. It has to be face up, so there's no way for me to like stop this Raikou. Because if I drew a Regeki Break, I would have just set it and passed. Because I would just immediately pitch the Dandy to get tokens. But anyway, it's a Raikou, so it's trying to destroy. I just negate that. I have Karma Cut, so I feel pretty safe. But they have a breaker. I can just go pitch Dandy. I can go Card Trooper. Hit the White Stone, dude.
Nice.
Card Trooper is so good, bro. It never misses.
And I think you just held off on the Debris Stardust because then you don't have any like protection for it, so it's like you can so easily die. So I like that, honestly.
Yeah, it's just kind of fruitless at times, like to just go for that. I can't brain control here because of this. This guy's actually kind of a monster sometimes, dude. So I just think about what I do here. I think I just go Debris. I make a very strange play here. I decided to go Card Trooper because I'm worried about Honest. So I'd rather, if I do get Honested here, it's not the greatest play because I'm giving him mills if it goes through. But I just felt like the read was it was honest, and so I'd rather just keep the card trooper like as a free draw next turn if the honest went through. That was the logic. But in retrospect, I'm like maybe I shouldn't give him mills. So
Yeah, I like the idea. It's just awkward that it does give him the mills. Thank God he didn't mill anything except
yeah,
for
he milled
dark.
he
Dark
milled the
could
dark,
be,
which is scary. Yeah,
yeah.
and I was like, no, I didn't mill by the way. And even if I did, he wouldn't be 1900. But I am gonna mill main phase 2 because I can for cost. And I hit another white stone, but I have no targets. I have no targets, so we're fine. But yeah, we're just deck thinning a little bit there. I mean, all these cards here wouldn't have been that great to draw anyway, so that's completely fine for us. They go JD. This is what, oh dude, the card trooper play was correct. Like
Dude, but you had
not
my
get a
body.
draw.
Why didn't you set my body?
I didn't really want to because like he's so low and I had the brain control that I actually
Uh,
genuinely thought that I could win through like with brain.
yeah.
like, I was gonna draw like the odds of me drawing another monster was so high. I also have card destruction to do the same thing. He goes monster reincarnation, targets the DD Crow. I'm like, that's fine. And in end phase, he's in a mill 4. I decide to Crow in end phase, the Necro Gardener, because I'm just gonna go for game here. As long as I draw a monster that can be summoned. That's not enough. This is not
Oh
enough.
no, it's not. That's not the right monster.
But no, I'm like YOLO, dude. We're doing this. Come on. Yes.
Oh, it's glorious. You should just set the brain control and then card destruction. I guess you just have to.
No, I have to just brain no matter what because like it's gonna put him down to like 400 at minimum.
Uh-huh.
So at least yeah. So it's pretty good. I could have also just put plasma out, which would be funny.
Yeah.
Kind of a flex. Just so if he drops scores, he has like the babyest. He doesn't get the token. I can just steal it. But he said, "GG's, don't post me, please." Too late. It's happening. He's obviously joking, but I mean I hope he's joking. Dano, sorry, you've been posted. I think he's only said that because he's definitely been in other videos, like for sure. But yeah, that was a little fun against some Twilight, just showcasing some crazy plays you can make. And we didn't even really use like the we used the Blue Eyes engine to like draw and stuff. The card destruction obviously is super nasty to be able to like do stuff with it to draw through your deck. It does help your opponent's deck at times, but it helps you more, you know? We got some more bangers coming your way. With the Lone Fire, we decided we always Lone Fire first because you don't want to draw into these Titanials. And then do your Cards of Constant Shenanigans. Yeah, so we're feeling good. We already have 3 cards engraved, a potential 4th, a Call the Haunted to target our Lone Fire, which is why I love Call. And that's it. I just set that. And the reason I just set Call is because it is chainable. If they like MST it, I can chain it to target Whitestone and add myself the other Blue Eyes and trade-ins live. So it's just a win-win scenario no matter what. They do have the few of their own. And it's like, oh, it's Hero Beat. That's a little scary, but you know, that seems pretty doable, especially when they're drawing all monsters or something, because they're not setting anything else.
Oh, they're just dead. Yeah, I was gonna brain control card trooper. It was game.
I was going for game. His hand must have been super duper bricked. I probably should have checked on it, but it seemed like it was all monsters, obviously. Yeah. Here we go. They go E-Call. E-Call add the alias. Same play, but we got the card trooper. It feels really nice. And we have the card trooper with a high chance of hitting something. But we do have the Lone Fire, which is a little bit better. And we have the Pot of Avarice, so I'm going to use both. And also because we already drew the Titanium in hand. So it's just better to just get him out of the way. We can trade in the Titanium now. And I can just attack for 1,000. Yeah, put him on a little bit of a clock. He just sets monster and sets 1 back row and passes. I don't know what this monster is, and I'm a little scared. But I decided to go card trooper. My mills are all bad. I go for card destruction. The reason I go for card destruction here is because I want the dandy tokens. It sucks because I lose out on Gores, but it's fine. I don't think I was really gonna drop Gores anytime soon.
I mean, you can put it back.
Yeah, that's why I can always put it back with the Pot of Avarice, which I think I do. But yeah, this is just a straight value because I feel like I have a read that the back row might be like a deep prison or something. I don't know exactly what it is. I do get to add the Blue Eyes, and I do get to get 2 tokens, so it's not really a neg at all. And yeah, I have Plasma as well for like a follow-up as well. But it's a Mirror Force. That does hurt. And that's why I didn't Pot of Avarice immediately. In case it was Mirror Force, I did not want to lose out to it. I decided to just go Dandy. and now I just Pot of Avarice, Titanials, a Gore, one Titanial, the Gores, and another Dandy. The reason why I put back another Dandy is because I still have Future Fusion in the deck, and I want it to be live. So I drew a Lumpfire, so that feels really good. And with the Blue Eyes in deck, this Regeki Break is just free value. So yeah. Now here's the question: I don't Regeki Break this Future Fusion.
And stand
Why
by.
don't I do that?
Yeah, that
Why
would have
don't
been
I
pretty
do that?
good.
I think it's because like this hand. It's
You
like,
can also
oh,
steal
yeah,
it.
that's why I think I
plasma.
want to steal. I think I want to steal it with plasma. That's why. But so I'm gonna lose 2 tokens, which is like fine. I just Regeki Break a random back row here. It's the bottomless, huge. I'm just so good at this game. I can now go Debris into Dandy. Oh, I just realized I'm gonna nuke the board anyway, so it didn't matter. Oh no, I don't nuke the board, so I go Stardust.
And steal it.
And I go
Yeah.
Plasma. Plasma's gonna steal the. Oh, I decided. Okay, so I decided to steal the Alias here because I can just attack with Plasma over the Ab-Zero, and then Stardust just negate it.
And it plays
That was
around
the play,
honest.
right?
Plays around
It
honest.
plays
Yeah.
around Honest too. So like that was like the play, and I'm like, yeah, if he has Titanial or he has like Deep Prison, that's gonna suck a little bit, but it's like, I don't know. In my head, it seemed like a really high value play. It was a little greedy though. But he had MST, so I just have to negate. I have to negate the MST with Stardust, and then, yep, I just lose my Plasma. But that's okay because now I just have a Stardust on the board with 4 cards in hand, and he only has his own 4. Like it feels like oh, but he has the Miracle. But here's the other thing too. I kind of always like making them have less Ab-Zeros to play with because now they only have one. They have 2 more Miracle Fusions in deck, but only 1 more Ab-Zero left. So like, there's a high likelihood of that just kind of bricking. And this deck definitely plays the long game. But yeah, they just go Ab-Zero plus Book of Moon. Feels pretty rough. I just go Lone Fire into Titanial, attack just to run it over and deal with it. I only have to worry about 1 more Ab-Zero. But not really great here. But I do have the ability to eventually like potentially tribute some Blue Eyes. We'll see what ends up happening here. It doesn't say. He sets a card. I decided to pop it because I just want to start pushing in. So I summon Blue Eyes White Dragon.
The legendary
And,
dragon is powerful engine of destruction, virtually invincible. Very few have faced this awesome creature and lived to tell the tale.
So I could have just summoned Sang in here because Torrential's gone, and he had Mirror Force anyway. I'd rather just get the search. So I really should have done that because there's like no downside. But yeah, I don't pay attention to like I completely blanked on the fact that you just used Torrential. I'm like so stupid. But it didn't matter because his back row was bottomless, a Shrink, a Royal Oppression, and just like he just drew a bunch of spells. So game 1 he just drew a bunch of monsters. Game 2 he just drew a bunch of traps and stuff after kind of using a bunch of their monsters. So yeah, this deck is super resilient. The Pot of Avarices are so good, and they're usually always live, which is really cool. But yeah, we summoned Blue Eyes. I told you I would, and we did it. And he's great, and we love him. Okay, we got another one against. What are we even up against? We're up against. Oh, it's like a zombie deck or something. I assume it's zombies when I see Krebins. Could also be a bunch of different things. I decide to set the Pot of Avarice and just card destruction away my hand. I get a lot of info out of that. The downside is he also sends his own zombie, goblin zombie, but losing return and Gores, that feels like a good trade.
Yeah, but we didn't draw it that good. Yeah.
The downside is we drew the Blue Eyes, so the White Stone didn't get the effect. So we would have gotten like an extra bonus like plus, but we didn't because we didn't draw it. And then now I see Instant Fusion come out, and I'm just like, I'm just gonna scoop. It's like it's if he cast my Dandy, which probably was gonna happen. I don't know. I just don't want to give more info. I mean, I already gave a ton of info out there. I'm just the kind of guy that likes to scoop early for no reason. This is just my thing.
You have such limited time, man. You want good games.
I want good games. Okay, so here they go, Instant Fusion. I decided to Karma Cut this because I just don't want to deal with like me getting Caiused or even being Black Rosed. And plus it gives me these tokens, which is great. I can just shotgun this heavy, go Lone Fire into Titanial. Yep. So now I have 2 Titanials and a Lone Fire on the field. And just start swinging. He's already at 900 life. So anyway, that was a quick game 2. We're going to game 3. So we have Cards of Consonance. We also have Regeki Break. Oh, we have the Quackmero Drago too, which is pretty cool. But he goes Trap Dust Shoot, and this is kind of like a hard choice. Like, it's probably best to get rid of Debris Dragon because then you know exactly what he has. But I can just brain control the Krebens and use Drago to synchro. But I can also do that with Dandy. So it's like I think no matter what, this Krebens is going away. So I think he just wants me to have the least amount of chance to do anything.
Yeah, that's the right choice in my
Yeah.
book. Gives you a dead card in hand.
Yeah.
Oh, misclick?
No. He just misclicked because he misclicked like triggering the Trap Dust Shoot.
I see.
Anyway, so I just brain control. I swing because it's just free. They can't drop Gores because of the Quackmero Drago. So that's really cool. Just free damage here. And then I just make Goyo. Goyo with some Dandy, potential Dandy tokens. I think I don't chain it. Oh yeah, because I guess I don't really need the tokens at this point. I go heavy. Why do I go heavy? Just because oh yeah, because he's super low. Puts him like now it puts him like in range of like dying to like any Titanial summon. So he decides to go Gale. He goes his own Goyo. This is actually kind of crazy.
Yeah, I don't know if I ever seen Goyo steal Goyo.
Goyo's still Goyo, dude. There's 2 Goyos. He's cheating, dude. But I could just cards of constants, but I have game here because he stole my Goyo.
Oh my god.
Like, it's crazy. I was like, oh man, I did not think this would happen. I was like, no, I'm using the second effect, bro. We're just going for it. You have no Necrogarda, Engrave, no back row. GG's. So yeah, this deck is freaking explosive at times. I didn't even have to use cards of constants here. The Regeki Break plants is just nice, man. Don't leave your Krebens out, man. Don't leave them out. They're gonna get stolen. Okay, last one is against Frogs because I like showcasing against the big 3. I showed a Vayu, a Blackwing, some other cool stuff. This Frog one is pretty. I just thought it was fun. Some hero frog action. They go Search the Infernal Prodigy. My hand is not that great. Just kidding. It got way better because I have the Dandy. So now I can make myself a Stardust. I could have cards of constants, but I just didn't seem like there was a reason to do it because I could just make Stardust with a bunch of back row. And I think that feels a little bit stronger. And if they don't do anything about the blue eyes, or like about these tokens, I could just summon blue eyes, which is pretty cool. So I just set both. I set it all and pass. They go special evil guy. And then true for Rise Up. But I just had to MSD my own thing. I just MSD my own thing so I can just keep it alive.
Oh, that makes sense. I missed that play. I missed the option.
Yeah. Yep. And now I'm just like, okay, summoning a blue eyes. That was always my plan. Puts them at 600, or they take 600 and an additional 25. Hopefully it's not Gores, but like if you got Gores, I have the Regeki Break to stop like the Gores. I'll lose my Stardust, but at least I can Regeki Break. But they don't have anything, so this feels good. And with no Frogs in rotation, like I'm not worried about being Caius here. But they have to set their Unifrog just to make a Miracle Fusion play, so that feels kind of rough. And yeah, the Regeki Break's just going to seal the deal here because I can just negate with Stardust. And yeah, let's just, with no back row, the blue eyes summon mattered, bro. It's just a big boy.
I do like how, so Dragon Turbo makes use of the blue eyes because they can summon it with red med, obviously, and this deck makes use of it because you can actually bring it out with the like amazing amount of Dandy tokens that you often get. So it makes it less of a brick when you can actually make use of him sometimes.
Yeah, 100%. They drop the Gores, that sucks, but I have the Trap Dust Shoot, so I think my Sengen is going to survive. And I have the Karma Cut plus Dandy combo, so I'm feeling pretty good. I Trap Dust Shoot. Their hand is pretty. It's like the Swap Frog would actually be the best if I didn't Trap Dust Shoot. I'm definitely gonna hit the Swap Frog here because I just want him to only have 1 Treeborn because I have the Crow, and that will make his hands infinitely worse. So I definitely just go for the swap. Because I also don't want him bouncing back Gores either. It's like a whole bunch of things I don't want him to do. But yeah. So now I'm just thinking I could just Regeki Break the Gores. I decided not to because I know he has back row. So I'd rather just save the Regeki Break for, or no, sorry, it's a Karma Cut, so it doesn't even matter. I could just Karma Cut the Frog. I could Karma Cut a lot of different things depending on what he does. Sets a back row. So yeah, I had a feeling that because his field was so big, I didn't think he was gonna set Torrential Tribute yet. So I had a feeling it would be Regeki Break. So I actually think I made the fully correct play here, because now that he set the card, I'm going to Karma Cut hitting this P1 Frog. And now I can make Titanial, and the Titanial will be fully insulated from Regeki Break. So that was like my hard read. Like, that he wasn't going to set Torrential.
Yeah, because if you had Karma Cut of the Gores, and he doesn't have a big board at that point, maybe he does set the Torrential, so that you kind of baited him.
So now I know he has a Torrential set back there, so I'm just not going to play into it. And he can't do anything about it either. So we're just going to keep getting a bunch of card advantage here. Like,
yeah, Brain is in his hand, but he can't use that, right? Geki Break set, he can't use that. He honestly probably should have just summoned the Uni and just Torrential there.
That's what I thought too.
Yeah, but that still would be bad for him, but like it would be better.
It would be better, but it's just like so neg. He's just like he's just waiting for a miracle. But I saved the DD Crow for this exact moment. I could just hit the alias now, and that just feels super bad. So if you look at his hand, yeah, he's just in a really rough position. He can't brain control. He can't soul exchange. He definitely probably should have just summoned the Uni. But then what does he have follow up wise? Like, what can he really do after that? I guess he can brain later. He can brain later whatever monster I do end up summoning. But he's so low too. Like, it's just a lot of like bad scenarios no matter what he does. But this Vanities, Brain plus Vanities would have been pretty good. But he just drew the Vanities, so he didn't know he had Vanities. But before that, this hand was just beyond brick. So it makes sense that he didn't want to just like he didn't want to just Torrential. But Torrential probably was the correct play though. You just summon it, get it all Torrential out of there. I'm forced to like go Debris into, I don't know, it's like a star. I have the Foolish combo. So it was just a really good hand on my part, and he kind of bricked a little bit. But still, I do think this matchup is pretty nasty if you can get Titanial with tokens. I feel like a lot of, besides Absolute Zero, it's pretty difficult to deal with Titanial for frogs because of the Caiuses are useless, Soul Exchange in the side is useless, and Regeki Breaks are all useless. There you have it, everybody. Blue Eyes, White Plants, just a very aggressive crazy turbo build. I just realized I didn't show any duels where I summoned Quick Draw, right? I did summon Quick Draw once in those duels. I do have a lot of duels where I've won and used Quick Draw, but he's just like another discard fodder. So if you don't like Quick Draw, you could just replace him with like, I don't know, it could be like a Snipe Hunter or something, or just some other discard outlet just to make your hands a little bit more consistent. But I do think it's worth exploring the synergies between the fact that you can run so many draw cards. 6 draw cards, 7 if you count card destruction, is pretty nuts in a format like this, which is pretty slow.
9 if you count the Pot of Avarices.
Yeah, 9 if you count the Pot of Avarices, honestly. And they're very much live all the damn time. The side deck could definitely use some work. I always found myself finding it difficult what to do. Maybe you don't need 3 Dragos. Maybe you can put something else. Maybe you don't need 2 Vortexes. Please go ahead and tweak this deck around. Have fun with it. It's just a fun deck. At minimum, you're going to have a good time. But if you can make it work and make it more consistent, let me know what you guys end up coming with in the comments down below, because I do think that this deck cooks. Thanks for watching Blue Eyes White Plants, the movie. I hope you enjoyed the in-paper deck profile. Team Starlight signing out. Peace.